everybody, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at another Marvel United set called Annihilation. The Annihilation Wave. Cosmic. That's all this is, are these great big cosmic beings. This is one of the smallest expansions. It adds just one bad guy. It adds 4 heroes, and then it adds a deck of things to make the game harder. Because that's the theme here, folks. Harder. Let's start off by talking about how this expansion makes the game harder. You have the Harvester of Sorrow location, which you use, and at the end of each villain turn, you put a charge token there. When there's 3 charge tokens there, discard them, add an extra Master Plan card, and add it face down to the storyline. You can come here to get rid of charges. So if you want the game to be harder, yay. You call that hard. Let's talk about these challenge cards. So there are complication cards here. And you're going to put some of these in the deck. You're going to put them in the deck at positions, I think, 1, 3, 5, and 7, or after those cards in the master deck. And then you just turn it over and you apply its effects. So as long as its effects in play, heroes must spend one of these in a villain's location, a heroic action in a villain's location before damaging them. How do you get rid of it? You do this. As long as this card's in play, heroes must forfeit 1 attack action during the turn, unless you defeat 2 or more of these in a single turn. So you have these annoyances that are going to come into play. Yay! And do you not like Ultron or Red Skull, I'm sorry, in the original set of this? Well, have no fear, we have Annihilus, who's very similar. He starts at Arthros, which, if you clear this and there's no thugs, you can move a villain to this location, so that's kind of convenient. But he's a tough cookie. I mean, he has a track here that will end the game whenever he does damage or anything to you. He has some annoying threats that do damage consistently to you. Especially these require 2 damage to take out thugs, which are a pain in the neck. And then, okay, his cards don't look too bad. Really? This brings him back to life, once, and 2 health for each of these cards, which could be 4. And then he has 4 cards that bring back randomly cleared threats. Ugh. And then a lot of his stuff does damage to people with special abilities. Oh yeah, I didn't show you his mini. Woo, here he is. I hate him in the comics, and I hate him here. Not everything is hard. There is a Nova Corps headquarters here. And at the end of a turn, you discard a card or an action token to put a Nova Corps token on any location. If there's an overflow, you can ignore it and discard that token instead. I don't know. Discarding a card or an action token to do that, you're kind of like using a giant Band-Aid on something. This sounds cool. I don't know why you just couldn't put a Nova token out for free. It's okay. All right, let's take a look at some of the hero. Here we have Vasel. She starts, she has this starting hand where she can get 2 of these tokens. As long as it's face up, she can discard them for damage. I don't care. I want heroic action token just to use them. She also is super strong against a single target, and she's very heroic, one of the most heroic people in the game. So that's pretty handy. Quasar has the Quantum Bance. He's one of the most interesting characters in the entire game. Heroes. This is a starting card. As long as it's face up, he can't use wild tokens. And once during each of his turns, he can forfeit an action to get a wild token. Pretty handy. You're like, but he can't use them. Well, his bottom of the deck card is, if this is face up, turn it face down. It's also a wild. He also has 3 cards with wilds. Draw cards, and if Bance is face up, he gets a bunch of tokens. So the thing is, he's not particularly strong during the game, but once he gets to the end, in the end game, good grief. One of my favorite heroes. Moondragon, on the other hand, not on the other hand, she's also very good. She has a lot of dual symbols, and she can spend actions to distribute tokens if they're in the game, but she has some wilds, and she can swap cards from the hand from a hero, flip villains, and use the symbols on the 2 previous cards. This is one of my favorite cards in the game. And then take a Master Plan card and put in the bottom. Her special abilities are wild. And then finally, there is Nova Prime. Yay, Nova Prime. So, decent icons. Let's take a look at his specials. Wild and adjacent location. Wild and adjacent. Wild and adjacent. 3 in an adjacent location, then you're KO'd. But you know what? That's worth it. He's fun. Yes, he heroically will sacrifice himself. And I think that one's at the bottom of his deck too, right? So, it'll take a while before he gets there. But he has enough wilds that who cares? This one's a tough one for me to rate because it has such low amounts of content. The 4 heroes are in my top 50 heroes in the game, for sure. All 4 of them are fantastic. I think, like I said, I think Quasar is one of my favorite characters in the game. I don't know where he ranks my top 10 because I haven't yet put that together, but he's great. Moondragon's great. And the other 2 are also pretty solid. I don't like these cards. I'll never use them. I think the game's already hard enough as is. Maybe you could add these to one of the more, again, I guess this exists because people think the game's too easy. I'm not one of those people. I'm constantly getting schooled by this game. But there is more locations and more stuff. So this is again, it's a hard one for me to rate because I really like the characters. But I'm just going to give this one a 7. I don't know that it's worth it unless you really like these characters. They're not particularly popular characters in the Marvel Universe. You haven't seen any of them show up in the Marvel Cinematic Universe for good reason. Maybe a minor cameo or something. But they're fun to use character-wise. We'll see where they rank, when I rank all the heroes in the set. But yeah, there you go. That is Marvel United Annihilation. I'm Tom Vasel. We'll see y'all next time.